Hello, I'm Finlay and you're watching the Run For It YouTube channel. In this episode, we're going to be talking through the updates to one of HOKA's most popular running shoes, the brand new Arahi 7. HOKA kindly sent us a pair so we could test them out properly and let you know how they feel to run in. And this probably isn't going to be a long episode because the Arahi 7 actually feature exactly the same midsole as the Arahi 6. All the changes are to the upper. So if you liked the previous edition, then you're probably going to be able to transition into the new model with relative ease. The changes to the upper should improve the fit and the comfort, with the main change being that there's now a flat knit design which should improve the midfoot support and offer more breathability. There's also now a plusher tongue for extra comfort, and on the tongue there's a dual gusset system, so that helps improve the lockdown and stops the tongue from moving from side to side or slipping down the side of your foot. To confirm then, there's no changes to the midsole, still features a compression molded EVA, HOKA's J-frame support and an early stage meta rocker. And if you're unsure what any of those mean, well, the midsole is just a lightweight foam, but there's a denser section in the midsole and that is shaped in the letter J, hence the name J-frame support. So if you imagine this section of foam running down here, that's all firmer, and that's designed to provide additional arch stability, and that support helps stop your feet from pronating in as far. The meta rocker simply means that there's a curve from the heel to the toe in the midsole, and that helps rock your foot forward, so it makes those transitions from landing to toe off feel smoother and helps take the stress off your lower leg muscles. When you step into the Arahi, you can immediately feel the stability and the protection under your feet, and that sensation really continues when you're out on a run. While the cushioning doesn't feel overly soft, it feels incredibly comfortable and very protective under your feet. And I think it's worth calling out that it would be strange if the midsole felt overly soft, because this J-frame support offers so much stability and support, and that's kind of one of the key attributes of this midsole, and that would be lost if the midsole felt really soft and spongy under your feet. And the cushioning felt great to run in at slower to steady paces. For me, it just felt really fluid and really smooth underfoot in terms of the transition from landing to takeoff. I think part of that is down to the meta rocker technology, because you feel that rolling your feet forward and just making it easier to glide along. There's no doubt why the Arahi are such popular running shoes. I think HOKA have done such a good job of delivering such a balanced underfoot sensation, given just how supportive and stable the Arahi cushioning also feels. Found the upper very comfortable to run in. The fabric feels great. The straps in the midfoot area offer great lockdown and do really secure your feet in. Like every HOKA running shoe, I particularly like the ankle lockdown. I always find that really secure and really well designed. I actually found these quite spacious in the toe box in the forefoot area. However, if you do have broader feet and you want a little bit more space there, the Arahi comes in that wide fit last. And of course, there's the more cushioned HOKA Gavota 5, which are built on a wider last than the Arahi, so you could opt for that if you did want a broader fit across the foot. But all in all, it gets thumbs up from me because it feels really comfortable on the feet to run in. So who are the Arahi 7 best for then? Well, there's never a best type of support when it comes to running shoes. However, if you have unstable feet and ankles, there's a pretty high chance these are going to be one of the better options for you. And the reason for that is this dual density midsole with this J-frame support. That style of support basically typically works well for runners with instability in the lower leg area, as it offers great arch support and provides that resistance for the feet and the ankles rolling inwards. To expand on this, holistic styles of support, so raised sidewalls of cushioning and guide rail support, that tends to work better for instability higher up the kinetic chain, such as the knee and the hip area. And that's not to say that style of support won't help stabilize the lower leg area. It's just typically this set style of support will work better for that type of instability. The balance cushioning is perfectly suited to those slower to steady pace runs, and while the cushioning feels incredibly comfortable, there's a slight responsiveness to it as well, which helps propel you along. And once you get into that rhythm in your run, it just makes it easier to maintain that. That's also complemented by the Meta Rocker technology, as that helps transition you forward, as we talked about, and aids that really smooth transition from landing to takeoff. From a distance perspective, these are ideal for anything from those short recovery runs to those long distance miles. And that's what makes the Arahi 7 perfect daily mileage running shoes when you're just looking to consistently bank those aerobic miles. This is a good opportunity to compare the Arahi 7 against the Gavota 5, because while they're both stability running shoes, they offer a different underfoot experience. The Gavota are more cushioned than the Arahi. They have a thicker midsole and more cushioning in there, and different support system. So they use what's called an H-frame support, where there's a denser section of foam that runs around the top of the midsole and interlocks in the middle. And that means that there's actually slightly more softer foam sitting under your feet. So it will typically feel slightly more padded and slightly softer in terms of that underfoot experience and sensation. And as a result of the additional cushioning, the Gavota 5 are in theory the best option for the longer distance runs, or those runs when your legs are particularly tired, because they will give you the most help and offer the most protection. But having said that, these are heavier than the Arahi, and they do feel slightly bulkier under your feet. It's not necessarily the best word, but you can describe it like that. So if you are looking for a lighter sensation and experience, but with that stability and support, then the Arahi 7 are probably going to be the better option for you than the Gavota. And that brings me to the end of this HOKA Arahi 7 running shoe review. Hope that helps you decide if the Arahi are going to be the right ones for you. I think it's just worth reiterating that if you are a previous Arahi 6 wearer, that you should be able to transition into the new model with ease, and I would definitely recommend picking the same size. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, we would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and please subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content like this. Thanks very much for watching.